Hello, Kalu, Kalay. How are we all doing today? My name is Notepad Anon, and I write games for fun. And what are we doing today? Today we're going to be working more on Fear and Hunger, Solus, and Somnium, a game about losing your mind and probably getting every single one of your limbs hacked off. Yes, hello. As I die a little on the inside. Little bit late today. Right when I was about to start streaming, I had this wave of fatigue hit me. I'm like, I'm gonna lay down for 5 minutes. That turned into like an hour. It won't. No. I should be okay now. It does happen every now and again. I do not know why. I've actually seriously debated getting it checked out because it is very odd every time it does happen. I just get super tired and can't do anything. But yes, hello. Today is going to be good. We're going to do skills or something. Part of me feels like I should reword it. Another part of me says I shouldn't. It do be that way. Outside of that, I was looking at a variety of things just because I'm a kind of person who does enjoy, looking at various things. I find it very fascinating. Let's see. Also, the video, my video, the Marvel video, actually is doing quite well for itself, actually. I wish more people would watch it, but that does be the way that it is for a small channel. Yeah, it's about as exactly how I thought it was going to go. Actually was very proud of that video. It does happen though. Other news is nothing. That's it. nothing fascinating. You might notice the font here looks a little different. I changed all of the heading fonts to Della Respira. And I changed I changed the the page break. I changed the paragraph breaks to single instead of 1.15. I just felt like there was a lot of room that wasn't being used at all, so I'm like, okay, I should fix this up a little bit. Probably going to need to fix this up a little bit. Kahara's looking a little rough. I need to probably put him somewhere else because Kahara is kind of the foundation of everything, because Kahara is my favorite character. But yeah, as you kind of see here, everything is still there. Double checked a lot of things. Still keeping with prowess. I'm still going to keep with prowess. I feel that prowess is the correct way of doing things. Right down here, though, I did talk about souls a little bit. In the Fear and Hunger universe, there is the concept of souls. Souls are very important. Souls actually guide where you're going in life. The main idea is that you can harvest certain souls by certain characters dying, or in kind of the idea of like that's going to shape into what the new god you're going to turn into is. Do you have a soul of domination? Do you have the soul of do you have a tormented soul, etc., etc., etc. One of the ideas that I ended up kind of saying with is like I kind of mused with like, should souls play a part of it? And I said no, because the idea is that I wanted souls to feel like souls are so specific. And I was like, okay, people are going to get really messed up if they're like, well, this is the optimal soul, and I didn't really know what else to kind of put mechanically behind it to make them feel different, because we're already dealing with such a small number of factors. So I'm like, okay, you know what, we'll not do this. Greeting word processor senpai, how goes it? I am late, I think. You are not. We just started. Thank you for resubscribing. It's great. Yeah, no, you're not late, don't worry. I started late is what happened. I'm doing good. We're just going over Fear and Hunger, double checking some things. Change some things the way things look. Change the way some things look, obviously. And now today we're going to be doing skills. Yay! Skills are fun. Skills aren't very fun. But I have an idea what I want to do for them. I was musing about how to do combat spells, because the thing is, in Fear and Hunger, spells are very unique. And I'm gonna show everyone some spells. Now, if we go to Fear and Hunger spells, most spells actually are referred to as skills. Yeah, technically you do have the skill of suicide. That does exist. But they kind of put them in the same category sometimes. Let me see if I can find it. You get things like necromancy tricks, where it's like reanimates a corpse temporarily. They can only join the party if you have a free slot available. And yeah, then you get things like pyromancy trick. What does a pyromancy trick do? Well, the pyromancy trick is a powerful that's 70% accuracy, afflicts effects with burning. There's a lot of these different spell abilities that you can do, but a lot of them are very basic, roughly speaking. It's like, hey, oh, but you also get things like, here's a blood portal. You can move between two portals for fast travel. This is huge. This is a very powerful spell, and it's Almer's only spell. Well, there are some other ones such as transmutation, mastery over insects, needle. Yeah, there aren't actually many. There aren't actually many spells, but one of the things that I was trying to do more accurately, or trying to at least figure out a way to do such, is make sure that spells felt different enough and unique enough to actually use, which I'm feeling the original version was like, just wing it, ha ha ha, hee hee hoo hoo. I'm like, this doesn't feel quite right. So I've been trying to figure out a better way of doing things. Yeah, and then you also have the hexen, the fucking hexen table. Which, fun fact, the hexen table is legitimately like your only way of increasing your skills. You start the game with a few beginning skills, determine play intro options, the Book of Forgotten Memories, all skill unique to the tree. And then you have to start burning them to unlock more trees and unlock more things. It's very like, oh no. Oh goodness. Get ready for spells. Oh boy. Yeah, there aren't many spells really at all. Mm. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, because all the spells are pretty much tied to various gods. Because all the spells are tied to God, there's no like, oh, you're just a magician, you cast magic. No, that's not how this game works. Actually, Fear and Hunger, if you are casting magic, you are asking a god for help, and that god is usually being a dick. So I'm trying to think of like a good way of like, here you can pick some skills up. However, you can kind of morph these skills to be a variety of different things. So, Notepad, this Saturday you're just going to dewong again? Yes, this Saturday it's just going to be dewonging. We are just going to sit down and we're going to work on as much of Black Magician's spell as possible. It'll probably be a longer stream, all things considering. I'm ready for it. It's just going to be time consuming. That's all it's going to be. I'm gonna miss Manly insulting you for not knowing Russian. Oh, don't worry, you can find him insulting me regardless. It do be that way, and I'm ready to accept it, but I'm the one translating it, and I'm the one who could just omit his name from the credits. Boom. You ever thought about that, Manly? and then promptly saying adroitness. Yeah, it's adroitness is a fucking word. I'm gonna die on this hill. I'm gonna die on this hill, and I will be, erect a mural for me, because I ain't stepping down. Alright. Adroitness is fine. That means eruditeness is fine, right? Ethical? That means it's fine. It's a word. It is a word, though. When... Or fear and hope. Where fear and hope. Eruditeness is not a word. I can confirm that it is actually a word. If I can fucking spell it correctly. Eruditeness, according to vocabulary.com, is profound scholarly knowledge. It is on the same... It's even in the Free Dictionary. Right there. It's in a thesaurus. It is the correct way. It is a correct word. It's just a stupid way of saying erudite. That's literally it. Yeah, as you can kind of see, it's erudite. Just worded strangely. Alright? That's all it is. Just worded wrong. Well, not wrong, worded right, just differently. Gee, I don't even know anything yet. Nobody's already coping about his wacky not words. It was one of those like, it's a word, but shouldn't be erudite. This guy I didn't even write anything yet. Nobody already coping about wacky not words. They're words. You like big words. I was trying to use fear, damn it, and it worked. Made me change it, so I did. God. Okay, let's see. Where fear and hope. Let's see. Where fear and hope are the eternal will of a tormented. I don't know if I should call them skills still. Skills seem a little bit weird for what they're doing now. That's skills. Skills are the learned tips and tricks. Tricks and trades that will allow the allow the tormented to survive in this forsaken place. Many skills from the many, actually. Well, many things from the outside world are useless. Also, wait a second, did I just see there? Wait a fucking moment. Half sword. Oh, Half Sword finally came out to Steam. Oh, I'll grab it on Steam. Half Sword's a game, by the way. It's very interesting. I saw someone play it. I've actually played it on stream for a bit. It's very fun. Very stupid since it's not a lot of people probably know what the fuck I mean. Erudite is a word to use. Erudite and erudition don't sound like stupid, so yeah. Oh, yes, I forgot. My most erudite soldier, of course. Manly. Manly the Yellow Wizard. Yeah, man. Do you like the manly? I think this one. I took a lot of effort getting this one just right. This was a pain in the ass, manly. He's there to call you names. This took way too long. He should have been a dark priest. I thought about it too long. I thought about it for a bit, and then I'm like, no. To give you an idea, with this belt here, that fucking belt took way too long. Why gray and not brown? What? Because I was trying to get, like, anytime I tried to make him browner, he ended up looking more like a giant hunk of poo. I'm not gonna lie, he just looked poo. So I'm like, that doesn't seem quite right. So I am instead going to make him black. I don't know. Here the thing is, I'm like, I don't know. Okay, give me 1 second. God, y'all are being very dramatic. This is Osa. As you can kind of clearly see, I was trying to make sure the manly looked as accurate as possible to Osa, but I couldn't quite get the exact way I wanted to, because anytime I changed the coloration of the manly, he looked just worse. So I was like, no, I'm going to play it smart. I'm just going to make him black and white, because Osa is... I don't even know what the fuck Osa is. I don't even know what you would consider Osa. Osa's too busy solving problems. Believe in Osa. Believe in him. Even if there is no Almer Grogagar. God. It wasn't... I can never win. He is the never. See, if I ever do an Elder Scrolls game, I could just make manly... See, anytime I do an Elder Scrolls game, it's just going to be easy, because manly's just going to be a Khajiit. That's all it's going to be, and I'll just be a Dark Elf, and it'll be great. Because I love Dark Elves and Elder Scrolls. They're my favorite They're my favorite group. Osa's African black. Some Africans aren't brown, but straight up coal colored. I don't mean anything bad, but that's how it is. I can confirm this. There are groups in Africa with incredibly dark skin. The way that think about it, you see some of it in the U.S., but not nearly as often anymore. You see that mostly down south. Nords, Argonians are my second. I actually like Argonians because Argonian backstory is just like, I live in a horrible nightmare realm. We also killed everything. I'm like, oh, Argonians are cool. People meme on Elder Scrolls a lot, but Elder Scrolls does actually have some fun things to it. Like it does the thing that I really enjoy. It puts in lore bits that if you want to delve deeper into it, you can, and then weird shit happens. And sometimes actually even bring it up of like, here's some weird shit. But yeah, you end up with, you get fucking Argonians high on things, or one of my favorite things about Argonians, this is a complete off topic. One of the funniest things with the Argonians is during the Oblivion Crisis, Oblivion Gates open up across Tamriel. Everyone was having a shit fit, it was really bad. The Argonians were one of the only ones to seal their gates by virtue of literally throwing, legitimately throwing hundreds of their own people into these Oblivion Gates and murdering every Daedra. Imagine that for a second. You are a Daedra Superman. You're like, hell yeah, I am unbound by the laws of this world. I'm super cool and awesome, and I'm so powerful and shit. And then you just open up a fucking gate to this other weak little world, and you just see hundreds of lizard men fucking, fucking stream out and murder you and your dog. It's like, oh Jesus. The weird thing is like the hist is alive. Because every single Argonian you meet that is not in Black Marsh is technically regarded as a weirdo in their society. Yes, Pelennor White Strike was, if you want to be really precise, Pelennor was a cyborg from the future sent back in time with a laser arm cannon, and may or may not have been a emotionless cyborg. Fell in love with a random dude, effectively, because he's like, I don't care anymore. And then when that dude died, he went on a one-man crusade to murder a fuck ton of elves. Yeah, because the idea is that his arm turns into a weapon. That they actually state that. It's like, oh, his arm turned into a weapon that blasted magic. And everyone was like, oh shit, he doesn't know magic, but he knows how to use this weird arm spell. How could this happen? I mean, it's like, because he had a fucking gun. How would you explain a gun? His heart was the amulet of kings. Yeah, like in the world of magic, why are you calling his arm a laser? It's a fucking magic wand. See, that's going to be the funny thing in this game, actually, in Fear and Hunger, is that I have to, yeah, there are guns. If you don't want guns in your game, cool. If you want to put them into, like, a fantasy game, imagine trying to specify what a gun is to someone who has no concept of it. I'm not going to play the Pelennor music video. I need to keep this somewhat on track. It's a good music video, though. I gotta keep this somewhat on track. Let's see. Tournaments around these Murky Hall, and actually in these. Many more filled void to enlightenment. Skills. Skills fall into three main categories. Histories. Histories. Magic. Actually, no. Histories, training, and magic. Histories is kind of a weird way of wording it, but I don't want to call it skill sets because we already have skill sets. See. That's one of the issues. We already have skill sets. Is the CCP notepad badge new? What do you mean? Ah, yeah, you've been subscribed for long enough that it's a sub badge. Ah, yes, it's Do it or I kill Manly. Why would you want to kill such an innocent creature? Then I don't want to get copyright hit or have to clear my cache for the 5th time because fucking YouTube is making it a pain in the ass just to watch videos, by the way. Because every single fucking thing you do is like, oh no, man, you don't understand. We're doing this for you. And it is the most annoying, like, frustrating goddamn thing in the world. To kind of just go through and have to manage all the YouTube things. so frustrating to me. And what YouTube is doing, for those who don't know, what YouTube is trying to do for some reason is that they are putting out oh, well, you're being blocked for ad blockers and things like that. You've been blocked, you've been blocked, you've been blocked. And it's very annoying. And the thing is, what I mean by it's very annoying is that if you fuck up, what I have to do is effectively clear my entire cache, which means logging back into everything, closing everything down again. It just takes forever and it's very annoying. But let's see. I will try to find it just for you all. Let's see. Will it break?
My father humiliated by the Empress. Nenalata as a vassal state to the Empire of Cyrodiil. Wrenching transition to a slaveless economy. Forced adoption of Alicia's 8 Divine. I don the crown of Nenalata. Rising sense of futility and doom. Solus. Donna, Sinope.
There, are you fucking happy? Are you happy? There, yeah, there's your music. Sorry, only Weezer from now on. Sorry, only Weezer. I just arrived and I must confess I'm quite confused. Yes, I was coerced. One probe of being the Hitler country is that we haven't touched by such things. I don't have ads in most places, even though the ad block is due to Google Ads blocking us. It is right. Austria and genocide hells, behead elves, curb stop elves. Kill mer, behead mer, drop kick mer, babies in the ocean. Hell knows first recorded instance of what you would call a player character. Yes, that is actually a fact of life in the Elder Scrolls universe, is that technically he would have had to read an Elder Scroll to go back in time. There is a debate that the Elder Scroll you read in Skyrim to go back in time is technically the same one that he would have used. But obviously, he didn't. Because, you know, he didn't exist yet. And if you want some other quantum fuckery, by sheer technicality, Bellinor Whitestrike won't exist anymore because the elves got nanade. So he is from an era post Skyrim. He is from an era post a lot of things. That's kind of one of the interesting things, is that he, under the current trajectory of history, he would have come to existence. He was sent back in time to effectively save humanity, and he did that by murdering a ton of fucking elves, like just a lot. There's some time fuckery going on there. Sorry, welcome to this Elder Scrolls lore stream. I'll be your host, Notepad Anna. He'd also be historically important, maintain continuity. Yeah, welcome to again, historical fuckery. It's great. Also, I'm not entirely like 100% on this +3 yet. Whenever history is relevant. Let's see. What would be some good background history people? What would be another what? I've covered wars, you know. Let's see. So we want to be coining coins and be counting coins. I always like using mercenaries for this because there's a lot of things a mercenary would need to do, but certain truths. Let's liturgical work. Actually, penitent knight. If we already have a mercenary, we need something. Let's do something war reporter than we would want to do. What would be what would be things an alchemist is good at? There you go. So it's kind of like, hey, these are just some examples. These are just some like quick little examples of what this could be like, what this actually works with, and the concepts behind it. So training's a little bit more intricate. Nice pudding. Pull up. Training is a history. Actually, training represents the drills in knowledge and drills and let's see, represent the drills and hard work necessary to survive in the most dangerous environments in the world, in the hands of the untrained. A blade is a hunk of steel. Let's see. Train the blade is a hunk of steel, and armor is little more than actually, the intended to train a blade is nothing more. It's a constant companion. Training allows the tormented to use equipment and armor throughout their journey. Let's see, allows the use equipment, weapons and armor throughout their journey efficiently. And without hurting themselves, as they grow and develop. Without the proper training, the effectiveness of certain equipment. The effectiveness of equipment drastically diminishes. Drastically diminishes. There we go. So we do training. We're going to put magic down there because we're not going to worry about it. How do I want to do this? So we're going to... Let's see if the tormented does not have the training in let's see, not have the correct training in a weapon. They will roll with a they will make any judgment. Let's see. If they does not have the correct training in a weapon, they will make any judgment. They will make any judgment with ruin. Worse and take worse results. The lack of training in armor doubles the effective weight without providing any additional benefit. Without providing any additional benefits. Let's see. Training is in a tree. From the most simple of weapons to the most complex of armor. One must develop the first before moving to the second. Having a skill such as through an archetype will having training let's see. Being granted training in heavier armor, more exotic weapons means the tormented is more adept, has already taken or been granted the lower tiers of the tree. Okay, so we're gonna go to our project folder here. Hello, welcome to project folder dice. Every single thing I do go wrong in my life. Training represents training. A scholar on Elder Scrolls lore. I put training represents training. I wouldn't be surprised if I did put training represents training. God. You're spooking me. Yeah, it's just like, yeah, it's training. So history, training, and magic are the three types of skills will be definitive list. For history, no. There's no actual thing there. You just kind of can write most things in. That's one of the main advantages of the history system, is like saying, hey, you can kind of be any character you want, you just need to write in what your history is. You want to choose another history? Cool, what are you? Well, I'm an alchemist. Cool, you're an alchemist. These are the things you're good at. Hey, what are you? I'm a mercenary. These are the things you're good at. You just get some bonuses. However, hey, you're an alchemist. Okay, can I get an advantage to lockpicking? Why? No, of course not. You don't know how to do that. Yeah, that's kind of the idea with history. Training is kind of a compromise, because I realized going through it, everyone would be able to use every piece of equipment readily, which makes some sense, but I'm like, okay, maybe I should change that up a little bit. Not necessarily like, I want to restrict you entirely. More like, I want to make sure that you can actually use this shit. Without it feeling really weird, being like, yeah, hey, you are a person who is not very good at this. Why? Because, you know, you're a fucking alchemist, not a knight. So yeah, the knight can use the really heavy armor. You cannot. Because you're not a knight. If we do simple weapons, martial one-hand weapons. Actually, no, we want to do simple weapons. This would be martial melee, one-hand, martial ranged, exotics. Okay, so that's pretty much all we need to do with this. I mean, for weapons anyway. Weapons are pretty simple. If we just go if we do this, so we start with, let's insert a row above, let's merge cells, weapons, weapons, simple, we do simple weapons. Everyone will always be able to use a simple weapon. That's kind of the idea. You will always be able to use a knife. You will always be able to use a short sword. This is not a complicated weapon to use. This is difficult to use. This is just something that everyone kind of has access to. You want to use a broadsword? Well, that's going to be a little bit different because it's a little bit more awkward to someone who doesn't know how the fuck to use one of these weapons. One-hand martial melee weapons. Exotic melee weapons. This probably isn't the best way of wording it, but probably isn't the best way of even doing this, but 2.5, put that shit in the middle. So, simple weapons, Okay, so. Column. Exotic armor is going to be its own thing for a very particular reason. Because we need to make sure that we can address the penitent armor. Go, we can put... They have a soft version of this in the main They have a very soft method of doing this in the game. So what if Spellblade, if I make potions and cast spells with one hand, swing swords with the other? Yeah. If you seriously want to try doing that, go for it. Because the thing is with magic is anyone can use magic in Fear and Hunger. Very important. Anyone can use magic. You're just gonna go banana-rama fucking insane if you try. You are going to go a little bit, well, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Not in a good way. Actually, what I should say, There's a very particular thing I could do here. Should I make magic on training? Because that's the, like, one of the ideas is there's some magic in Fear and Hunger effectively works off belief. There are no wizards. There are priests who can use magic. How do they use magic? They believe in God. A god, I should say. Enough, and then suddenly, ta-da, we've done it. However, you may be saying, oh, it's like a cleric. The answer would be kind of, except they are taking something, and it's called you going insane. Because the gods who give magic to people are not gods like, oh boy, you're super friendly. You're a super happy-go-lucky god who really cares about me. No. You're dealing with here's Grogoroth. Yeah, this is the god you're talking to. He's gonna be the one to give you superpowers. As you know. Yeah, this is the one who's giving you the ability to cast magic. That's an old god. Let me see if I can find Sylvan. Sylvian. Oh, hey, you wanna negotiate with this? Hell yeah, let's negotiate with Sylvian. Woo. This isn't gonna go poorly at all. Hey, kids. You want to fight some... You want to... Let's negotiate with the fun gods. Cool. Yeah, it's great. Hey, you want to... Here's Karen. Hi, Karen. How you doing? How you doing, buddy? Karen's doing great, as you can tell. He's kicking ass and taking some names. He's... All his skin is gone, and he has gone completely insane. They've all gone completely and utterly... Why are you two here? Yeah, here's Lagarde again. Like, wait a second. Yeah, there's no, slippery tasty sanity. Yeah. A World of Horror. I've been meaning to get World of Horror for years, so I may as well justify if it's coming out here soon. I might pick it up. Yeah, there is no Thrar, god of war, who blesses his sons with strength. You're talking about yeah, you are effectively, if you want to play a Spellblade, you're effectively playing a crazy person with a knife. Yes, and it's like, hey, Grogoroth. Because the big thing is, the old gods are so far above it, they don't really give a shit anymore. They're like, nah, I don't really care. Like, you confronting them is like, you're confronting an aspect of them to, like, to effectively deal with them long enough for you to become a god. It's, oh, hey, here's my best friend. We're gonna fight this out. And it's like, oh, nope, nope, that's not how this works. And technically, a fun spoiler warning for Fear and Hunger, you can actually create a new god. You see the birth of potentially 3 gods in that game. One of which is you. You can become a god. Lagarde can become a god. Griffith, or as I like to refer to him as. You can also witness the god of Fear and Hunger. The god of Fear and Hunger is terrifying and is awful. You don't want to deal with the god of Fear and Hunger because it will kill you. So I'm thinking about giving them like... Yeah. Part of me wants to say you can get training in certain spells, and if you don't have training in certain like types of spells, you're gonna go fucking bananas a lot faster than other people. So it's like, yeah, you are effectively adept at this. You know what, let's doing this, and we are doing this. Go. That. Oop, nope. Welcome to Table Tricks with Notepad Anon, where I fuck with Google Tables enough that it does what I want it to do. This isn't necessarily canon, but I don't care because it sounds cool. This train level. Use weapons, armor. Use weapon armors and mutations throughout their journey without hurting themselves. Without proper training, the effectiveness of equipment and magic drastically diminishes. Tormented does not have the correct training in weapon. They will make any judgment. They will make any attack judgment with ruin, forcing them to take the result. The lack of training in armor doubles the effective weight without providing any additional benefit. There's double the mind cost. Because yeah, it's everything is going to be mind based. So today, most simple weapons, most complex of armor. One must develop first, moving over the tiers. So we can grant someone second circle spells, and that would be actually pretty valuable to them, because it'd be the idea of saying, hey, you're cool. You can slap an image right there. That'll look kind of neat. We've got exactly what these are supposed to do. So everyone's going to start with simple weapons. Everyone's going to kind of start unarmored, uninitiated, and simple weapons. Because if I were to ask a random person on the street, do you think you can effectively wear chainmail? To properly compartmentalize, ignore constant whispers when cast magic. I always wondered how people pray. Lord Satanas, the shadow realm of somber darkness. Does the word dark have enough weight in their culture? It's yeah, no, they're people get around it. They actually talk about that quite a bit in Fear and Hunger. I wonder if I can find let me see if I can find, it would be the Fear and Hunger. We'll do the Yellow Mages because the Yellow Mages are fun. These are the Yellow Mages. The Yellow Mages worship a god. They worship specifically Grogaroth. Now, the thing is, Grogaroth is more than just the god of destruction and ruin and horrible, horrible things going on. He's actually a lot more than that. He is a god of wanting you to do things. He's a god of action, a god of desire, a god of wanting you to quickly do a thing, because if you don't do the thing, bad shit happens. Generally speaking, they dance. If they want to use a spell, they're not actually casting a spell necessarily. They're fucking jiving. They're all fucking high. They're going fucking nuts. They are legitimately speaking, they are higher than a goddamn kite half the time and dancing to cast spells poorly. Did I say they're trying to cast spells as fast as loose as possible because Grogaroth wants you to do things. They want you to kick it up into gear, and I don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't know what's going on half of these places. Very confused. I'm getting out of here. Where you cast some magic? Do you hear do it reverberate in your skull? You got to do it to do it. Similar to Chaos Gods and Warrior Fantasy, where you have positive aspects mentioned in Orska. Yeah, like there are always. The one thing that I noted in my one cult video, my one cult game, was people don't worship things that hate them. They worship things that like them. That, or at least have the belief that they'll like you, or something that reminds them of something very human. It's saying like, hey, Grogaroth does genuinely want destruction, human sacrifice, and he wants you to fucking do it. Do it. Do it. Like Shia LaBeouf is quite literally telling you to do it. Yeah, it's, you know, to commit a hate crime, but hey, who cares? We're winging it. Yeah, or put you in a better position or something like that. There's always a positive aspect to it. And yeah, you see it kind of a lot of these guys, but it's kind of like one of those things that they even talk about, because in the Fear and Hunger lore, technically all the gods are worshipped pretty actively, but and not at the same time. It's no real big religion really took hold in the Fear and Hunger universe until Termina, because Almer happened. Yeah, if you want to meet Jesus Christ real fast, Almer, Fear and Hunger. This is Almer. Let me see if I can find a good one without his penis in it. This is Almer. Can you guess what happened to Almer? You're right, he died on the fucking cross. That was like his big thing, that he led legitimately. But instead of it being like, oh, it's Jesus, he came back to say he loved everyone, he came back and immediately declared super holy war on everybody. You're like, Jesus, but he's based. Did we do that? Simpson. Yeah, effectively, Jesus of Fear and Hunger died, came back, and declared total war, and then they finally killed him and put him on a cross, and they still worship him because he's that cool, and he actually won at the end of the day. You know, in Termina, we see a lot. In Termina, you see a lot more of his worship rather than the other gods at that point. Everyone else is kind of fading. Because, hey, it turns out that God that actually gives a shit about you is going to be a lot more, impactful to everybody than the God who actively hates you. Hey, this God demands that I, practice human sacrifice on my loved ones. This one just says that I should like myself more and work out and wash my penis. I think I know what I'm following. Everyone's just citing that new horror game. Late Notepad, of course, it's always Late Notepad. Everyone's talking about that new horror game, the funny one. God says wash your penis. Yeah, everyone's been talking about, if I bring up just a single stone toss image, everyone will know what I'm talking about. This one. Everyone's talking about this game. I don't know anything about it. I have no desire to watch anyone go over it. I just been finding it everywhere. It's legitimately everywhere. It's a problem. So we want to do... Okay, spells are gonna be a little bit weird. God, reward. Let's see. The gods of the world reward their followers with blessings of ability, blessings of supernatural abilities. These demand earn the right to use such tools. Earn the right to use such tools, satisfying their but the reward is far greater. A magic spell. A magic spell is drawing upon the wellspring of power, dwelling inside of the soul of an individual. Let's see, drawing upon the wellspring of power dwelling inside the soul of an individual, burning it away to call to draw forth power, calling a magic spell taps into dwelling inside the soul of an individual, burning it away to draw forth power to attack their enemy, to attack their enemies, or heal their allies. Learning magic spells is a time-consuming and dangerous proposition. It is a dangerous task, requiring ancient tomes and meticulous planning to ensure the health of the let's see. Requiring ancient tomes, meticulous planning to ensure the health of the practitioner as well as the power of the spell. Many times in the dungeon, that convenience is detail. That detail and planning must be thrown aside for desperate bids for power, or learning more deep dark spells beyond the colors of this reality. Every magic is tied. Gods of the dungeon, empowering their followers and those who pay homage to them. Magic side individual gods of the dungeon, empowering their followers and those who do them. Learning a magic spell. Does not require learning a magic spell does not require a tormented to use fairy tales like mana, but instead wears away at their mental fortitude. Actually wears away at their mind. Wears away at their mind. Should they break before? But wears away at their mind. Kind of like a little funny haha more than anything, being like, yeah, you can use magic. There's no such thing as mana. You just use your mind. Magic. All spells. Actually, spells allow the caster spells allow the tormented to mimic or exceed the physical world around them. Spells may be certain spells may guts from an enemy, may tear the guts from an enemy, or mend the wounds of an ally, or mend the wounds of an ally. Spells, however, spells always have limits. Such as never having a true resurrection. Yet. But as favor grows, these final incantations may be the ultimate goal of a tormented down this wicked path. Kind of the, you'd be trying to find like these final incantations. These are the final spells. Like, yeah, we've mastered to the point where we can cast some things that we really shouldn't be casting. But we're gonna cast a spell and see what happens. The explosion, everyone dies. I think I have actually a let's see. Do I have some of the spells? Let me see if I can find some of the spells in the game. Because I remember I had a few of them and they were all very goofy. Let me see. Where are the spells? Tell me, where are the spells? Yeah, okay. Yeah, uses a magic spell they have access to. Where was it? Writes in spells. For example, the black bile whip that does fucking 5d8 damage. The cancer spell. Hey, what's that? Cancer. My favorite spell, Black will go brr. Will the quantity of sanity lost by spells and other funny things happening? 3-ring binders to press board report cover. What do you think? Got no opinion. Go for it. Oh goodness. Let's see. The one with horror in name. Well, the incest part is horrific. What is it? Brother and sister are sold into organs harvesting by parents. Then their neighbor summons a demon. They summon the demon again to kill the guards, run away, kill their parents, and the prophetic demon fever dream. Yeah, another chapter. Yeah. Soon as we'll detail as Yek returns to the world, improved at last. Efficacy of the spell power feels a bit lacking in the verbiage. Yeah, probably. Yik 1.5 is going. Quantity of spell sanity lost by spell and other funny things happening around the characters have a mechanical effect on it. There's a few. I'm going to have to rewrite how spells are, because this was literally me just writing down things and saying this seems about right. What I will most likely do, is I'm going to have to make like a spell creation table effectively. And that spell creation table is going to be, you're going to be spending mind. You're going to spend a certain amount of mind to effectively do something. Hey, you want to do 4d8 damage, that's going to cost you X, Y, Z mind. The thing is, what I'm going to do most likely is put it down to the GM section a little bit and be like, hey, you designed them a bunch of spells. Here are of the major gods of the setting. Here are a list of spells using this system. You want to bring in a new god or old god. You want to bring one of those in and have them do stuff, then you're going to design like 4 or 5 spells for them to use. So it's like, hey, I'm drawing on Grogranath. Hey, I'm drawing on Sylvian. Hey, I'm drawing on this. Hey, I'm drawing on this. You're drawing on different spells from different, pretty much gods. 1 or 2 of these things you're gonna do fine. If you have the cancer spell, that's 3d10 damage. That's just 3d10. Like, that's not a bad spell. Like, that's not a bad ability in any remote capacity. That's gonna set you up pretty well for the rest of the game. But it's like, hey, I want to learn the necromancer trick. I want to learn something like that. I should put a note about the ritual. I should put a ritual note because that's somewhat important. Powering their followers, those pay homage to them. Learning spell does not require time. Reward the powerful blessings of supernatural abilities. Such tools, satisfying their needs and desire. Wellspring of down this wicked path. I feel like there's something else. I feel like there's a side note I need to put down here, but I forgot what it was. Okay, so we're just going to move. So we're instead going to move on to archetypes. Now remember at 2 in the morning. Because that's how it always goes. I remember things at like 2 in the morning. And then I'm like, oh, that's what I needed to do. And then I feel silly. Because I'm a silly clown. I know nothing. Potemkin Buster. Have no fear, everyone. It's me, Potemkin. Want to make a note about rituals? Yeah, about rituals and stuff, but actually, I'll put a side note. Da 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 da. Rituals are spells that do not directly that don't directly draw from the soul of the tormented, but instead use their own a combination of factors to supplement a how do we want a request demand a request or subversion of a god's power. Rituals require things. The ritual require things such as, actually, let me do the resurrection ritual. True God of fear and hunger. Or other such esoterica. Force the world. Let's see. That's good. Force the world to obey them. Learning that they actually learn. Sometimes rituals may even be half completed. Maybe half completed. Just waiting for the right. Let's see. Just waiting for the participants, otherwise known as the marriage. Now you may be wondering, what is the marriage? Well, in Fear and Hunger, you can get married. You may be wondering, why would you ever want to get married in Fear and Hunger? The answer is very simple. You turn into a horrifying flesh abomination. Well, you don't like the horrifying flesh abomination? You don't like it how the most efficient way to do things is to actually rely on a literal actual ghoul to do things? Yeah. Books, bro, is using Satanic Bible draw inspiration from. Want to make a note about books, bro, is using. He's stronger in the picture. The marriage, the full scale marriage, is most likely the strongest character you can encounter in the game, outside of the literal head, but that's a different story. Mostly because it allows you to effectively ignore pain. You get super tough and you hit like a fucking freight train. The unfortunate thing is you need to have people to make love to, on a ritual circle, and then you fuse together to form a single person. It's a little funky. You shouldn't do it unless you absolutely must. Such as if you lose limbs. Da 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 da. Archetypes. Each tormented starts with an archetype to reflect who they were and how they may have wandered into the dungeon. Not only does the archetype grant their starting fear, hope, and any skills, it also grants an initial set of equipment. Begin their descent with. Once they enter the dungeon, the tormented is the last connection they have to the outer. The tormented's archetype is the last connection they have to the outer world. Embrace it, reject it. Embrace it or reject it. It is theirs and theirs alone. Tormented starts with their Yeah, it's up to you whether do you want to embrace this? Do you want to reject it? So, let's just go through our basic ones. We need to kind of fix a dungeon. Follower of the gods. The Hilir is a soul of faith and doctrine, trained through liturgical arts as a scripture of their faith. Adherence. It's out of curiosity, but of faith, as the god calls the adherent deeper and deeper into the catacombs. Regardless, delving into every step into the darkness is treacherous. An adherent cannot trust anyone except themselves. Fear and hope. Let's see. This is going to see the adherent. Adherent chooses one background. From each of the tables to determine their fear, their base, their starting fear and hope. After that, they will distribute four additional fear. Distribute plus 4 fear. An additional 4 fears and 10 hopes, and 10 hope among both of them, and the 10 hope struggles and personal representing their personal struggles. This is going to be copied and pasted repeatedly. This is important. This is going to be copied and pasted repeatedly. That's bump up the size a little, give it a little bit more. Okay, so let's stretch this out like this a little bit. You need to get cut. Cha-cha slide. You need to get cut. We need to go back up here. We're going to... Oh, part, Colt, prowess, endurance. There we go. I don't know why it's red, but it happens. Ferocity and enigmatic, acuity, reflexes. Heart, occult, prowess, heart, bolt, prowess, endurance. Okay, so let me see if I can remember what they were. It would be 2 across 2, 2 and... and 10. Be 10 across the board. So if I'm just to kind of give myself a little bit of a... So this is what we have to work with effectively. So why did you write it on the side before copying and pasting into the Google Doc? Because I wrote it down and then forgot, and then was like, this isn't going to be as efficient as it is here. Do you think this stream is anything but inefficient? We are incredibly inefficient here. Sometimes I just like writing something down in case you forget it. But let's think here. So thinky. We want to make sure that these guys are... Okay, the Zealot is going to get a 2 in ferocity. We'll say, -1 there, 1, 2... Let's do something like that. So he has a total of... That'd be a total of... Let's see. So that would be... Yeah, that'd be a total of 2. The occultist is going to get a 2, 1, 0, -1, 0. And the cleric is going to get a 1, 1, 0, 0. Actually, we can probably do something like this. The occultist is a little bit more spread around. He doesn't really get that many points, but he got a little bit. He's not very good at ferocity. Cleric's kind of your standard man. So 10, 10, 10. So if we want to do Servant of the Faith, Servant of the Faith is going to be 15, 10, 10. 5, 5. Why don't we do something like that? Mystic is going to be 15, 5, 10, 10. Actually, no, wait. So that would be 20, 30, 40. That's wrong. 30. I think I just did the math wrong on some of these. Very likely. Yeah, I think I just fucked up the math sometimes. So that would be 30, that would be 40. So yeah, no, we need to do 40. 40 is our goal. So if we do Mystic is like this, and we do the Firebrand. The Firebrand's going to be a little bit more aggro. Uh, mm, mm, we do something like that. The Mystic. 5 in his heart. Bump up a Colt. Prowess down. 10 points doesn't seem like... Thing is, like, 10 hope seems like a lot. Like, you can bump up some of these very high. But it's like, yeah, you're also going to have to compensate in some other aspects. So... that's kind of the point, though. Actually, you know what? We can probably... Why don't we make... No, let's keep that. 20... 40. That's what I like to see. Is the hope defined by the background, the final one? No. So effectively how it's going to go. So let's say, for example, we're playing an adherent. We're going to play an adherent, and he's going to be John Faith. That's his name. He's the adherent. His name is going to be John Faith. So he's going to have his ferocity, enigmatic, acuity, reflexes. Type them out. And then he's going to have his heart, occult, prowess, and endurance. So, let's say, for example, I want to play a cleric. So I'm going to have 1, 1, 1, 0. This is going to be my initial setup. And then I'm looking down here being like, what do I want to play? Let's say I want to play a servant of the faith. 15, 15, 5, 5. What I can do now is that I can get an additional 4 fear wherever I want. I say, hey, I want to play John Faith to be a little bit more... He's a little aggro, he's a little weird. So I'm going to look at him like this. So I have assigned my... So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I've got 10 points to spend down here. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I want him to survive a little bit more. So why don't I do that? I got 2 extra points. Let's say I just do not break. There we go. So this would be our initial stat spread. Right when we begin the game, this is what we're looking like. As time goes on, what I'm thinking about doing is adding in later is if you succeed at hope. If you were to succeed at a hope check, or you were to succeed at things that were challenge your beliefs or something, it's going to increase. So it's kind of like if you already have high heart, you have that human will to survive, and you're like, nope, I reject the evils of this world, I'm not going to break that easily, then it's just going to get better and better and better. But his endurance is low. So if he fails endurance checks, he gets poisoned, he gets hurt, or anything like that, he's going to actually start falling. Things can change. You're going up and you're going down. So, yeah. It's not going to be the final one, because I realized, actually, there's no way to level up in this game, so I'm going to have to put in more ways to change your stats. So, next we have to do Skiliosos. So, we need to do something. So, we need to change some things here. Complex prayers and magic available, and the magic available to them. They begin with light armor. They begin with light armor training. One first level, I should say first circle. First circle spell training. First circle spell training. Mm. And two histories. And two histories. Yep, this is who they are. They got a lot of things going. Actually, we'll see one history. So, may make a choice between the following skills. During my studies, I chose to understand. Mm, 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 mm. The art of magic, the art of faith. At the temple, I would often assist with faithful's errands. Mm. 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 I don't know if I want to do this or not. I like the idea of like, hey, you just get to learn a bunch of stuff, kind of like a little choose your own adventure thing. Another half of me is like, I shouldn't do this. What's the max stats permitted by the character creation and after? Actually, I shouldn't make a note about that. Good call. After character creation, well, it depends. That's a very big depends situation. Do you want to commit horrible crimes against humanity, and do things to augment your body beyond color? If the answer is yes, I am fully willing and able to do atrocious things to my body for the truth of the matter of becoming someone stronger. The answer is yes, then go for it, King. I believe in you. Complex prayers and magic available to them. They begin. From there, the adherent must make a must make a. So if we want to, then you have to make a choice of like, hey, where do you want to go? Why did you leave? If we want to do the why did you leave kind of thing, we can give something like that. I was called by God. I was chosen by God. Pursuit of knowledge, pursuit of power. Kind kind of like, hey, why are you actually here? Why are you actually doing any of it? So, mm, mm, mm. I was called by God. On history, pursuit of knowledge. Mm. Do histories and mm, mm. Actually, what we can do is you've just learned shit. That's the pursuit of knowledge. Why are you here? You have the history scholar of the faith and 2 additional histories. You have at character creation for this, you would have 5 fucking histories. Because that's your entire thing. You want to learn. You want to figure things out. You don't actually have second circle spell training, though. Pursuit of power. Pursuit of power is you're going to get second circle spell training. Exact word. One hand martial weapon training. Armor. You don't. Actually, no, I do 2 histories and spell choice. So you don't have second circle casting, second circle spell training, one-handed martial weapon training, medium armor. The idea being, I want to become I'm going a little bit cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, so I've got a little bit of people are like, oh, you got a little bit of training at certain places. I am literally being called, so I have some more magic spells going on. I'm just here to learn something. I got basic spells, basic abilities. I'm ready to go. Pursuit of power. I want to become a paladin, and I will do anything in my power to become a paladin. Maybe base bonus for the class and let the theme be attainable through choosing my adventure, like delete not retrieve. Maybe an exiled path. It's kind of like the idea is like this is like your real basic. This is your basic one. Actually, exile wouldn't be a bad idea. Exile. Let's put you down. We can just put a big image right here. Exile. So you would get 1 history. Yeah, what happened here? Who knows? That's kind of the... Why were you exiled? I don't know. I've done nothing wrong, says man who'd clearly done a lot of things wrong. I'm being persecuted for my beliefs. Like, your beliefs are killing people, you lunatic. You absolute loon. So, we do... In... So, how do I want to... We want to do... Let's see. An adherence starts with light chest armor, simple a simple one-handed weapon, and 3d6 silver and 3d6 silver coins. They may choose one of the following. Which we're going to put a nice big table right here. We're going this. Going to put you all the way off to the side. Actually, no. Going to... I think this would be a time for bullet list. One of the very few times I will now be saying it's time for a bullet list. So, soulstone, pipe and opium powder, blue vial and 2 bandages, holy book of one of the gods dungeon. I will probably need to expand that out when we get more equipment, but generally speaking, this is going to be the format for everything going forward. I do... Not really. Not going to worry about it. Go. Okay, so... Let's see. So, proud and noble members of society, knights of the backbone, and military officers and officials made inside various kingdoms. Wandering knight, the dungeon poses a threat to the kingdom and must be dealt with, either by diplomatic coercion or lofty ideals of chivalric intent. Regardless, delving deeper into the darkness. A knight cannot trust anyone except themselves. See, so luckily we can legitimately just copy and fucking paste this section and just change this to knight. The knight chooses one background from each table. So, we'll change enigmatic to reflexes, veteran. This. Knight errant actually works pretty. We'll do that. Put it right there instead. Actually, if we want to be a little bit jokey, being like, yeah, the knight errant isn't really good at being isn't really good at doing their job. Let's see. So Blackguard, that is 30, 40, 20, 25, 35. So we need to put wait, 20, 25. That is right. Yeah, this is the right amount. I'm having a stroke. Ah. But where are the guns? Well, an adherent isn't going to get a gun. The veteran's going to get a gun. Because there's a few there's a few new archetypes that I have planned. The ones that I have planned anyway, as you can kind of see here, are the veteran, which the veteran is just going to start with a fucking gun and heroin. A lot of gun and heroin. The aristocrat, obviously, is going to start with a lot of drugs. The broken. Broken might change depending on the situation. The prole and the investigator. I thought those were very appropriate, but let's see. Skills. Technically, pipe and opium powder. There we go. Gotta update it. We gotta update it for the kids, you see. 2 shots of heroin. So, yeah. Hey kids, what do you want when you enter the dungeon of fear and hunger? What sounds so appealing to you? You can have a soul stone, which allows you to trap the souls of the unfortunate. A blue vial, which is a healing potion, and 2 bandages. A holy book of one of the gods of the dungeons. Pipe, which is very powerful by itself, and opium powder, or just 2 fucking shots of heroin. Woohoo! We talking black powder muzzle loaders, lever actions, or like gun with a magazine and attachments. I do love my funny vein juice. Well, the thing is, Fear and Hunger Termina. In Termina, characters pretty actively use, well, guns. Guns are very common in Termina because it's you could call it kind of the interwar period. That's the best way of thinking about it. And guns are very powerful in Termina because it's a gun. And you may be wondering, what does the gun do? It allows me to shoot someone with a gun, often repeatedly. A vast majority of the guns effectively are your skill cannon, if that makes sense. It's just like, if you manage to hit with a gun, it's going to die. If you get hit by a gun, you're probably going to die. So don't get hit by a gun. And if you see a problem, just send him at it. Just send Mariko at it. Because what's Marco going to do? Marco's going to dead sprint at you and beat you to death with his fists. Well, weapon, 12 gauge trench gun. Yeah, Olivia is Olivia's just a woman in a wheelchair that uses a gun. What's your special technique, Olivia? Using a gun. Yeah, a lot of people use guns in Termina, so I'm like, well, I made a commitment early on when I was debating on updating this game that I was going to have to add guns of some variety, so I was going to add it. Like, one must have then make a list, like you take one of the following list. Yeah, Mom, I want to know, honey. We have here two at home. The heroes at home. Heroin, Ula, Mr. Frenchman. Kind of the idea is like the idea behind that. It's not necessarily like you have a holy book. It's like you're just a guy. That's kind of how I wanted to get across. Is like you are a guy entering this place. Not necessarily like, oh, you have a holy book or something. It's just a holy book of one of the gods of the dungeon. Not necessarily your god either, just a god of the dungeon. I might add something like that, but right now I'm just trying to get some basic ideas down because I'm feeling that's kind of an issue currently. So let's see. So we want to do skills. Okay, so they start with medium, so that would be light and medium armor training. We don't need to worry about shields anymore. And one-handed martial training. So they start with 4 skills effectively. They start with 4. The adherents started with 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, they start with 4. Cool. 4, 4. Then we are going to choose. One history, rulership, history, history lord, as in the idea of like you are quite literally a noble. Actually, I should say history nobility. And let's just write in a couple. I'm a knight. Let's see. So, hey, okay, I'm a lord. I'm a wandering knight, which is pretty much like you're effectively a hedge. Actually, we can probably call them a hedge knight. I mean, is that even technically a term? I'm going to have to Google that. Hedge knight. Is hedge knightery? It doesn't help that this is all this shit. I don't believe hedge knights are a thing. I just like the term hedge knights. Yeah, this ain't. There was actually a specific term for that, but I like wandering knight. Actually, what do we have? A knight synonym. Do we have any good synonyms for knight? Vagabond Cavalier. Vagabond Cavalier. Yes, that's who I am. What would be some other good? Thinky. Put in a Highlander because I think that would be cool. Chevalier Errant. Well, the thing is, Fear and Hunger has 2 timelines. Effectively, around like 1300. And there is also Termina, which is the 30s-ish. Mendicant? Yeah, Mendicant Cavalier. When's the Doom TRPG? Depends on which Doom you're talking about. Kind of the idea is, and I'm going to have to put a big note about this. There's going to be a beginning section I haven't put in yet. And that beginning section is like, here's a basic rundown of what kind of the expect in here. And it's, time is weird in the dungeon. Because it's not necessarily a dungeon per se, it's just a place. A dungeon can be anything you want it to be. It's just a place, time, a place where something is bad and God is winking. Or the gods are really looking in on this fucking place and they are pissed. Something has gone wrong. And I want to kind of get across the idea that Ohio? Yes, effectively, Ohio. Congratulations, the next Fear and Hunger game will be set in Cincinnati. It's kind of the idea that, like, time is beginning to morph a little bit and things aren't quite making sense. Things don't die in certain locations. The titular Dungeon of Fear and Hunger was actually a place that was just bad. This was an evil, horrible place that nobody wanted to go to because it was built on top of a horrible nightmare location. And for some reason, for no reason at all, they imprisoned someone who was effectively Griffith there. And everyone is just drawn to it. It just happens to be built upon this horrible nightmare location. You know, like this fucking nexus of weird. Horrible dungeon, everything goes wrong, and oh, lo and behold, you see the birth of the god of fear and hunger. Oh, how could this happen? You see the birth of, you know, possibly 2-3 other gods. You know, everything goes horribly, horribly wrong for everyone involved, and everyone cries. It's like, oh, uh-oh, I'm in danger. And it's kind of one of those ideas, like, picture you're going through an OSR dungeon, and, you know, D&D dungeon or whatever. You're going through, you can't leave. That's the problem. If you try to leave, you're going to get tore apart out there. So you're wandering through. And just imagine you round a corner, and all you see is a guy holding like a fucking rifle after blowing his head off with it. Now, here's the thing. How do you describe a firearm to someone? That is a modern, how do you describe a modern firearm to someone who has no concept of what this thing could possibly be? It's like, please explain a video game to someone from the 1400s. They're gonna think you're fucking insane. So, wait a second. You're telling me that magic pictures show up on here and I hit this thing, whatever the hell this thing is, and things occur? Absolutely not. This is a wizard shit. It's my boomstick. Effectively, playing Ash from Ash of the Evil Dead in a Fear and Hunger game would not be entirely remiss, however. But that's kind of the idea, is like, explain a gun to a knight in 1200. They would think you are insane. They were like, that makes absolutely zero sense. I have no idea what you're talking about. Well, if you use this magic powder, you put it in some metal casing, and then you hit it really hard, it explodes, and you die. I'm being just like, that doesn't exist. It's a fire crossbow. But why would you ever light a crossbow on fire? And what I would want to occur is somebody finds this magic rifle, you know, the fighter finds the rifle, and he's like, what is this thing? I don't know what this is. And just walks around with it thinking it's a spear or something. And then, oh no, there's a threat. I'm gonna pull the little trigger. Yeah, and like, oh, what happens if I pull this and it just misfires? Or something goes horribly wrong. That's how I would want this to go. You're not going to get much ammo. That's one of the other things, is you're going to get very few actual bullets. Can't explain it. Deal with the devil to the cross with you. Yeah. Let's see. What would be some other, That would be so we're here. 1, 2. Okay, I can know. I think I have an idea. So we're going to say the foreigner's going to get 1 history, and they're going to get martial ranged weapons, martial range weapon training, and firearm. Yeah, the foreigner. I'm a knight of the land, being like, yeah, I also have a fucking gun. Hey, asshole. Begin their quest. Begin their quest. Befitting set of equipment befitting their skills. Heavier, medium. Fitting their skills. Medium or heavy armor. Medium or heavy armor. Martial medium and heavy I don't know how to word this. Because like the issue with the knight is that they don't bring anything except armor with them effectively. And being like, I am a holy knight of holy knightness. Being like, oh Jesus. Snoot game ripoff came off a few weeks ago. Did you know the Snoot game? What are you talking about? Are you talking about Goodbye Volcano High? Volcano High is kind of a meme, but I don't know how. I don't know how to write that. So, I'm not going to. That's the secret, kids. If I just avoid my problems, I don't have to think about it very much. If there's one thing about redoing how skills work is that they've suddenly become a lot harder to flesh out certain aspects. I've also realized that I've made a very tactically weird decision somewhere along development and did this. Let's see. So, wildly driven adventure. Mercenaries only, true companions, silver in their pocket, the blade at their side, and their own wits. Some find themselves drawn to the dungeon of profit, others find themselves dragged in due to their own greed. Regardless, delving deeper, wandering into the darkness. Wandering into the darkness, a mercenary cannot trust anyone except themselves. Night. The adherent. Yeah, in case you haven't noticed the recurring theme here of you can trust no one except yourself, which you shouldn't trust anyone else except yourself because you're a horrible person. Let's see, warrior 2, -1, 1, we'll switch a cutie out for reflexes. Scoundrel 1, 1, 1, 1, no, actually, we'll just do this. Rogue. Rogue is very active. Yep, that works perfectly. What? Let's see. Wanderer 10, 5, 15, 10. Good, lucky bastard. 15 and actually, what we want, we could probably do something like this. Noble trickster. Something like this. They're always going to have good prowess because that's their entire thing. That's their gimmick, you could say. So, mercenaries are skilled and adaptable in the field. They begin with 4 history. They begin with one-handed martial weapon training, and 3 histories. One, two, 3. That's 3. 2 histories. Let's see. The mercenary is skilled and adaptable on the field. On the field, just as much as they were in life. They begin. We're only going to have 3 of these. Bandit will say, professional. We want to do bandit. We want to be professional, and we want to, a lot of wandering tonight. Of course we're wandering. Deserter. Deserter's good. Oh. Actually, wait a second. History bandit, medium armor training. Because I've just realized, technically, they have no armor training. So we'll give them that. Professional, we will give them two-handed martial weapon training and medium armor training. New histories and light armor training. Yep. Kind of the idea of like, hey, you know how to use a one hand, you know, like you know how to use this. You actually, like, mercenaries are probably like the most adaptable out of all of the original ones. That was kind of the point. The point was that they are supposed to be very adaptable. Deserter with armor? Yeah, it's kind of the idea of like they know how to wear very basic armor. Like, yeah, you're a deserter. You probably weren't a high-ranking deserter, but you probably were a deserter. Gives you a little bit more history with things, and better than being a professional, which just grants you the ability to hit people harder with better armor on, which is very good. Until I figure out how to word this better, we're gonna do. Silver coins. Yeah, two of your skill backgrounds give you that, so I'm just gonna keep with medium chest armor. Yeah, they get chest armor. They don't get actual armor. Outlanders hailing from the farm. Into the dungeon. Now, land can trust no one and cannot trust anyone except themselves. Should customs held by the people of the homeland is strange and alien to those around them. Delving into the darkness, foreign mindset may be the only thing separating them from damnation. Go. We can extend. Hill folk. Ferocity. Barbarian. Oh, wait a second. I see adroitness, and I know people are going to get mad at me if I keep that in here. My heart knows the truth. So. Barbarian's going to be hitting you there. They're not really... Yeah, enigmatics works. Good reflexes. They've got good reflexes. We can do something like that. They're not... Hill folk aren't the smartest, but they're pretty friendly with people. Sea people are pretty universal across the board. Savages. Heart. No, we're going to do 15, 5, 15. Actually, we can do 15, 5, 15, 10. They aren't going to break. They don't believe in breaking it. Foreigners, you're just not from around here. 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. Refugee, very low there, but they will survive. I will survive. Which leads to me to the Outlander. Get away from me, Outlander. Dangerous and unpredictable individual, focusing on raw brutality of their upbringing rather than strict training of others. They begin with light armor training, one-handed martial training, and ranged weapon. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Perfect. The Outlander probably had the most amount of just skills to learn about. Mm, let's see. Cannibalism. To histories and to hand in martial training. Da 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 dum. Which you're going to get history witchcraft, history magic training. Yep. Congratulations, you have developed the ability to use skill. What's your wow what's your skill? What's your skill, Mr. Outlander? I'm a fucking cannibal. I like killing people and eating them. Uh-oh. It's not necessarily going to be a strict mechanic. It's just going to be kind of that constant reinforcing aspect of like, do not trust anyone else. You are there for your own ends. Like, you are there for your things. The game, what do you do of Lagarde is the point of contention between the characters. Yeah, exactly. That's going to be kind of like a setup to the campaign more than anything. Like, you kind of got to reinforce that aspect a little bit. It's going to be a moment of, say, hey, what's your character concept? Well, I'm going to be playing a cannibal berserk. I'm going to be playing this Outlander who's a cannibal. He is coming to this dungeon for, he wants to kill someone. He is coming to this point to absolutely murder a man because he hates this man a lot. And he's like, okay, cool. What's, you got a character name for this character? We'll call him Bob. His name is going to be Bob. Okay, you want to kill Bob. We go to the night. Hey, I'm playing a nice, heroic wanderer out to save something. I want to do something. Are you trying to save someone, perhaps? Yeah, well, how about a character named Bob? Well, there's actually a guy, he's a knight, named Bob. Oh, yeah, I'll go out to save Bob. All right, now we have a point of contention now. Hey, mercenary man, what are you doing? I've been paid to find Bob. I'm like, okay, what do you mean find? I've been paid. I've been paid to do something. Like, what have you been paid to? I need to kill a guy or bring him back alive. Oh, who are you getting paid by? Some weird people. Okay, make sure in your history write that shit down. You're being paid, like, hey, you've got a relationship with these people. You got something here. We have points of contention. Nobody really knows, because again, don't trust anyone. You might be like, hey, I want to kill Bob. Be like, I want to save Bob. And it's just like, we're going to work with each other until we get to him. You don't want to reveal anything, You don't want to play your full hand, being like, well, I'm trying to find Bob. Oh, someone might say, oh, well, I'm trying to find my friend Bob, and you're like, your friend Bob? Well, I'm looking for him too. And by look for him, I mean I want to slit his throat. Well, I want to do this as well. Yeah, I forgot to give these guys like dual wielding. Dual wielding isn't a thing in this version. They don't start with any money because turns out being a weird barbarian from Nowhere's Town doesn't mean you're exactly fucking loaded. Scholar. Hello, Scholar. Few souls are foolish enough to then plunge into the depths of search of enlightenment. But to the scholar, the light at the end of the tunnel is pure knowledge. While scholars' intentions may not be most noble, they are individually driven by curiosity and desire to learn from the world and exploit it. Regardless. Regardless, as they research the darkness. I can trust no one except... also made a big point. There's actually a game out there. It's a board game, effectively. And that board game had a very large, thing. Like, every single character was trying to pretty much undermine one another. It was like, you're in the middle of a battle, and you're like, you can attack your friends, like, mid-battle. Because you want to be the one to get out of the dungeon with the most amount of points, effectively, to win. But you gotta work together, or you'll just all fucking die. It was a cool idea. I'll have to try to find the game again. Welcome to the dungeon? Was that it? No, this doesn't look right. I remember it had a real, like, dark look to it. Like, it was deliberately going for, like, that, I wonder if, Let's play a game. Let's go to Tabletop Simulator. Give me a... This is the workshop. This is going to be impossible to find, but, what if I just Google dungeon? Because I specifically remember playing it on... That's really sad. I specifically remember playing it on Tabletop Simulator, because you could play it alone. It wasn't as fun playing it alone. Was it One Deck Dungeon? No, this wasn't One Deck Dungeon. That was just me getting mad at life. I have to... that's going to drive me nuts until I figure it out. It's going to... Because I remember this specifically. And then it was like this really... It was like really dark artwork. Like, it was deliberately trying to be like, oh, we're dark and edgy and stuff. And that was like the idea. Where was it? I don't know what it is, and it's going to drive me absolutely insane until I remember it. Dungeon Raiders? Oh. Yeah, actually, it might have been Dungeon Raiders. Was it this one? It might be Dungeon. I don't know. I would have to look into it. Yeah, because the entire idea is like everyone was like, oh, well, you can do this, but trust no one. That was like kind of the constant thing it kept talking about. And I thought that, like, that's actually very evocative. And I like this. This is nice. I'm going to check my phone real fast because I don't have it by me. Jets. Benny and the Jets have been going through my head all day for some reason. It's very help. Just help. Let's see. So, ferocity, yeah, educator. Poets. As you can kind of see, poets do not believe in the face of darkness. The poet will always. I'm a poet. I believe the heart of man. We're going to survive, he says, fully damn well knowing that he is not going to make this out alive. All my friends are dead, but at least I have a poem. Let's see, so scientist. We're going to reduce that down. We're going to make that. Scientist doesn't believe in any of that occult bullshit. To get this. Philosophers. What's your belief, Mr. Scientist? Fuck your occult bullshit. I have a gun. It feels few of them pertinent to strict particularities. Let's see. So, 2 histories of their choice. They actually don't begin with anything. See. Bachelor of let's see, Bachelor of Arts, Bachelors of Science. Yeah, there we go. Actually, no. History artist. History, it would be, Bachelor of Love, 2 histories. And first circle, magic training. Yep, because yeah. Bachelor of Love. Who plays M14? Bard who plays the M32. I beat my old dull hollow thump and boom. Yeah, kind of the idea that is the Bachelor of Arts is like you've clearly learned about things that are more esoteric in nature. You're an artist, kind of. You're kind of a cultist. Like, you've learned things that are much more philosophical. Bachelor of Science is, I am a doctor, I'm a chemist, and I damn well know how to, you know, it's like I'm a doctor, I'm a chemist, and I'm a biologist. Like, I have serious training in a lot of different fields, and I'm very qualified to talk about things. I am a fucking scientist. The Bachelor of War is, I know how to shoot you. Hey, I'm actually just someone who likes, I just like killing people. Woo! And the Bachelor of Love, of course, is, I just spent my time being debauched and you like somehow learn magic. Which, to Sylvian logic is very, very, simple one-handed weapon. There we go. Or heroin. So I'm just gonna write in the other one so far. I'm not super happy with skills right now. I can't put my finger on why. I'm in this very weird state where changing skills from these like really hyper specific actions was the right call. Changing them to more of the, you know, broader sense of things. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. The way that it is now feels like, okay, now it's just like, here's take more histories, I guess, just kind of write them in. Like, that doesn't feel as... Mechanically, it is objectively the right choice. Feelings, not as much. Something feels weird about it, because it used to be like you literally had an action and that was something you could do, because I want to model it off the game. And the idea was like, hey, you've taken the cannibalism ability, you can cannibalize. You've taken the prayer ability, you can just pray, I guess now. It was a lot of things like that, or like, oh, you can now dual wield. I'm like, what the fuck does that even mean? There were no dual wielding rules. I just said that you could, because I'm like, who's gonna pick this? So it was like, like, it's breaking it down to history, being like, I am a doctor. I can do everything doctor related, and I'm going to get a +3 to it. I am very good at my fucking job. I'm an artist. You need help identifying art? Cool, I'm your man. There's a strict mechanic now behind things. Training. I have light armor training. There is a significant issue if I no longer have that training. Hey, got medium armor training. There is a significant issue now that I don't have it. It just doesn't feel like there's something like, I've lost the soul, if that makes sense, a little bit. I'm trying to think of like, is there a way to get around that kind of thing? Is there a way to kind of have my cake and eat it as well? I'm assuming there is, but I'm trying to figure out what it is. So I'm just going to write this down so I don't forget. I'm going to put it down there more accurately. The veteran, the aristocrat, the broken, the prole, and the investigate. The idea is... Mm. Mm. So it's kind of that idea. Is like, hey, you're a veteran. Why are you here? Because I'm just fucked up, man. I don't want to be here. I am here by compulsion. The aristocrat is here by obligation, by nobilis obligis. I am here because I have to be. I am a special person because I'm special, and I'm here because I have to. Lord Bracken, I believe his name is, in yeah, good old Bracken in Fear and Hunger, the entire Bracken quest line. Weird. The Broken, I have no limbs and I must scream. That one's going to be a little bit special because he's going to start with a fucked up limb of their choice. They're going to start with a prosthetic, but that prosthetic is going to be like, yeah, hey, I am literally someone without an arm. What happens here? I don't have a fucking arm is what I don't have. And or the prole is going to be the funny one. The prole is just going to be like, yeah, you're just a dude. You're driven here by a variety of reasons, but you're kind of just a guy. Not really that important to the... You are Levi. You're a dude. Maybe less history, more precise skill. See, that was kind of the issue with the original version, is that the precise skills were like really too precise. And they weren't, and it was kind of, there's this happy medium between what I have now and what I did have. So it's like, yeah, effectively something like feats, but feats don't quite also work the way that I was hoping they would. Because generally speaking, this is not a complicated game. And I like that idea behind it. It's not a very complicated game. It doesn't need to be very complicated. There's just stuff in here to enable a situation, just like the original game. Fear and Hunger is not a complicated game. It's very simple. It's just difficult. Likes to fuck you up a lot. I'll think about it. There's an answer. I don't know what an answer is, but there is an answer. So most likely on Monday, I'm gonna try to get some of these done, and we're gonna start working on combat a little bit, and some of these other ones to start kind of getting the idea in. Because I think once we cross this, once we kind of get into after combat, things start getting a little bit easier. Because it's at that point, it's just, well, here's the equipment table. Let's add more equipment. Hey, this is the weapon table. Let's add more weapons. Let's add some tags there. I don't think we need to change any of the armor up. Probably have to do some stuff with aspects. And outside of that, like, it's kind of just that first half that's gonna be a little bit complicated because we're just cleaning things up. We're just doing little changes, little bit changes. 1, 2, 3. That's all it's gotta be. Oh. That's weird. Oh. Where are you heading for all of a sudden? What did you do? Well, I'll worry about that later. Yeah, kick some gums and chew asses in short. Yeah, effectively. There's an answer, and once we start getting past that stuff, we should be good. Under our current trajectory, the goal is to finish by the end of the month. That might occur. I'm feeling pretty good about ending it by the end of the month. Next week is going to be a little bit hectic, so that might slow some things down, but I plan on working on it over the weekend. So that's going to be kind of the goal there. Thank you all for watching. My name is Notepad Allen. Have a wonderful rest of your night. Godspeed, good luck, and I hope you all have a wonderful time. See you next time.